The New Zealand Today podcast was made with the support of New Zealand On Air. Cheers, guys! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the New Zealand Today podcast. It's a podcast version of the show New Zealand Today. It's not really that similar to the show New Zealand Today, but we're associated. Sharon's rocking our t-shirt. Karen, I just got your name wrong.
I know.
I used to have a radio co-host called Sharon.
Keza.
A good friend called Shazza, and then this is Kazza. So my name is Guy Williams. I'm one of New Zealand's leading volunteer journalists. I'm joined by Karen Hill, who is a opinion writer, debt collector. You're available for stag do's? You've done a stag do before?
I've done one, yes.
Yeah.
Only stag do I've ever been to in my life.
Wow.
And I was allowed to keep my clothes on. But I came first. The strippers came after me.
Now, I met Karen about 3 years ago. It took me a long time to track her down for the New Zealand Today show. You're famous for leaving a very abusive phone call.
I'll get my $20 or she's going to get 20 fucking whacks.
And what shocked me is when I met you, because I was like, go meet the angry lady, is you weren't generally the person that call makes you out to be. Like, you do have a temper, I'd say. I'd say sometimes too much of a temper. But generally, you're a lovely person and you're very well-spoken and thoughtful and intelligent. Sorry, I was judging you off of an abusive phone message.
I know. That's what Russell Howard said.
Yeah.
You know, and I met you.
She's been on Russell Howard, like the UK comedian. Like, Karen's a big deal now.
He said, I was dreading meeting you. But I look at you and you got the most friendly eyes.
Yeah, lovely friendly eyes. But what shocked me about you specifically was that as a gag, because you said you wanted 20, you're going to give them 20 fucking whacks. And that was kind of your catchphrase. And we're trying to figure out other things that you should give 20 whacks. So I was like, you must be other things that piss you off. Right, and there is a lot. Yeah. But can you remember the first thing you said when I asked you who should get 20 whacks? Or other people should get 20 whacks? No. You said Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu, yes.
Who was at the time the Prime Minister of Israel.
Israel, yes.
Yeah. And that was, for me, hilarious because you'd gone from a woman who owes you $20 for some weed to Benjamin Netanyahu. And I asked you why Benjamin Netanyahu should get 20 fucking whacks. And what'd you say?
Because of the way they treat the Palestinian people and that they went onto their land and took their land and threw them out of their homes. But they weren't supposed to go onto the West Bank and they weren't supposed to go on the Gaza Strip. But they invaded the West Bank and they invaded the Gaza Strip and built settlements and settlements and settlements. And the United Nations says, no, you can't do that. And Benjamin Netanyahu said, why not? I'm not listening to you. No fucking other country listens to you, so why the fuck should I?
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty well reasoned.
And I don't understand what the United Nations is all about. They might as well disband them because they're no fucking good. Nobody takes a blind bit of notice. No one takes a blind bit of notice.
Some people do.
What did Helen achieve over there?
Helen Clark, didn't she help help women in Africa or something? I don't know. I don't really know, okay? But they've done good stuff. They do like the war crimes tribunals and stuff. All right, okay, you're looking through me with a piercing glow.
United Nations. They're supposed to settle.
Just to be clear, we're not anti-Jewish people or a Jewish state.
I'm not.
It's Benjamin Netanyahu's treatment of the Palestinians, which was particularly brutal.
The worst leader of treating the Palestinians that Israel's ever had.
Yeah. Shivers, this is a controversial start to the podcast. But straight away, I was like, man, when you said that, you're like, they came there and they took land and stuff like that. I just thought of New Zealand, and that's our story too, right? Like, that's European people taking Māori land here in New Zealand. Like, it's the same story all around the world.
Yeah, because I agree as well. But what I hate is how the iwi get the money and the urban Māori get nothing.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure you're a great expert on iwi economics here in New Zealand.
Not really, but I just...
Not really, but I'm willing to give it a crack. Okay, well, this will be interesting to you. New Zealand news this week. The Dargaville Beauty Contest is cancelled. I haven't even seen what the story is yet. Okay, what's funny about that?
Dargaville. Is that when you have a beauty contest? It's like fielding in the best city.
All right, well, they're trying to organise a beauty contest in Dargaville.
Why?
And it's been cancelled due to lack of entrance.
Yeah, I don't like beauty contests.
No, they're
Never
horrible.
have.
I
think that they're degrading.
They are.
Yeah.
It's horrific just to get a bunch of women and just
And I would
walk
never,
around how hot they
I'd
are.
never watch them. I just think, this is a load of shit.
Yeah, I'd still watch them, but I'd think in the back of my mind, I was like, this is disgusting, but I'd still be watching it. But yeah, and it's like...
and we all see people differently. We don't see everybody through the same eyes.
the way they tricked us, which is quite funny... My mum, because the Bachelor came out in New Zealand like about 10 years after it did anywhere else, and my mum was like, I'm not watching that show, The Bachelor, until there's a show called The Bachelorette. And I was like, that's a good point, Mum, but bad news, there's been a show called The Bachelorette for about 7 years.
Yeah.
It's been in the States for ages, it's been on C4 or whatever.
And what is she doing with that? But no.
She didn't start watching it. She's a hypocrite, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's an absolute hypocrite. She said, but the way they've fixed beauty contests, instead of stopping them, they've just allowed men, like they've started doing male, what? You know, it's the same with people are like, people are like, oh, there's a problem with society, and that is women are held to ridiculous standards that are unobtainable and photoshopped. But instead of like fixing that problem and like reducing the standard, they've just made the standard higher for men, and now men have to also like start to obtain beauty standards, and like even makeup, and like men have become, and I guess we should all take pride in our appearances, but like we're not fixing the actual problem, we're just creating more problems.
My grandson had nail polish on, and I went, what are you doing with nail polish on? He went, why not?
Yeah.
And I went, I've got an answer for that.
Yeah.
Man. And then my two oldest grandsons, because Lucas, he's 15, I said, where's Lucas? Oh, he's at home with about these 3 girls, and they're all poncing around and putting makeup on. And I went, what? Oh, okay. And then Lucas came and he said, I like it. I like being like that. And I went, fair enough.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. I said, what about your girlfriend, Bella? And he goes, no, she's fine. She knows that. They're just my friends. They're just my friends. And he's got lots of girlfriends that are friends.
Yeah.
And that's
but you were the one who taught me that in episode 1. You were talking about your girlfriend. I was like, oh, and you're like, oh, as a female friend is a friend. You have girlfriends who are just friends.
You say girlfriend, don't you?
No, well, if it's a boy who's got a friend who's a girl, you would just say, yeah, that's your friend. You don't even need to say the girl, but...
Yeah, but I grew up saying it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Karen, it's time for your segment, and it's time for story time with Karen. Do you want some more water?
Yeah.
Do you want me to get some?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll get you another.
Leave that on the bench.
You just entertain the people while you just keep on rolling while I go get some more water.
Okay. So Guy's gone to get me my water because he's the water boy.
So before the podcast, I wrote this down. It's okay if you don't want to tell the story, but only if you're okay with it. You just said casually while I was setting up, you smuggled drugs into Rimutaka prison.
Oh, yeah.
Are you allowed to tell that story?
Yeah, I'm allowed to tell that story. He got out in 99.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. How do you smuggle drugs into a Rimutaka prison?
I carried it in my mouth until I broke my arm.
Whoa, okay. So you had a friend who was in Rimutaka prison.
Yeah.
Can you say who the friend is or what the situation is there?
His name's Paul. He lives in Stokes Valley.
Shout out to Paul.
Shout out, Paul. He calls me Auntie Karen.
Yeah.
Because they knew he was getting drugs, but they didn't know how. Because his only 2 visitors were his father and me. Auntie Karen, but I wasn't his real auntie.
Ooh.
But I didn't want Gary to do it because that was his dad.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Gary's my dad as well. Shout
I
out to Gary.
said, I'll do that. I'll do it. I'll do it for him. Save his skinny little white ass. And
wait. Why is this saving him? Because he's using them as currency in jail, or because he needs the drugs?
And like, don't touch the white boy because
he's got the drugs.
He's got the drugs, yeah. And then I just carried it in my mouth.
What drugs?
Marijuana.
so they go, "Hey, Karen, who are you here to see?" And you're like, "I'm here to see Rob."
No, because I could talk with it on the side, yeah.
Give me an example here. Let's do it. Let's do an act out. Hello, welcome to jail. Who are you here to see?
I'm here to see my nephew, Paul. Oh, nearly said his surname, Paul.
Fuck, you're good. Fuck, you are good. Okay. And so at this point, you must be absolutely, sweating bullets. You weren't nervous. No, you don't understand. If you get caught smuggling weed into jail, that's a serious offence.
Yeah.
And you weren't afraid at all?
Serious now. No, just like when you go, do I get nervous on the live shows? And I go, no.
Because you just got ice water in your motherfucking veins.
I don't know. I drink a lot of fucking water.
Yeah. Okay.
I can easily suppress the emotions away.
Wow.
And just do what I've got to do.
You'd be a good contract killer. Or a sniper.
Yeah.
Don't say yeah. No words you can murder me if I criticise your camo
if
cardigan.
I was alive in World War II and I joined the army or whatever, I believe I would have been a code cracker.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I've always liked solving things and doing cryptic crosswords and working things out.
Yeah. I believe in you 100%. I think you're a very talented person, and I think you could do anything, but there's a bit of a jump from solving cryptic crosswords to cracking Nazi codes.
No, I reckon I would have been good at it.
Okay. Well, that's all the confidence we need. Okay, so
Got to believe in yourself.
So how'd you break your arm?
Because I told this bouncer at the Totra Lodge Hotel.
Shout out to the Totra Lodge Hotel.
Totra Lodge Hotel.
Is it still around?
He wouldn't let me in, and I said, "Fuck you! I'm gonna come back with a shotgun and shoot you."
Fuck, Karen, your life, eh? This is called Dancing with the Devil, the Karen Hill story.
And he broke my arm, fucking prick. And
How did he break your arm? Just like with his arms?
Yeah, he just grabbed my arm and broke it.
Fuck.
That's what that one, that scar where they put the pin in.
What's that green band from? You go the hydroslide.
That's because I've had an operation on my eye.
Oh, wow.
And I've got gas in my eye, and that's why I'm not allowed to fly, and I'm not allowed to climb up hills or anything.
Which is ironic because your last name is Hill.
Yeah.
Karen Hill, no hills.
Yeah, because let's face it, the last night in Wellington, what did we do? We went up Victoria Hill with Karen Hill to have a blaze. So Guy got out of the car and he drove us back.
Okay, we're not supposed to say incriminating stuff on the podcast, Karen. We went up to have a blaze. I don't smoke weed, so I wasn't in the car. I was a sober driver.
Yeah.
I was good friends.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to make me look like a coward in front of all my cool podcast friends.
Why should you put your liberty on the line doing something that you weren't doing?
What do you think of me? Do you think I'm a nerd?
No.
I'm a loser?
No, I never would think of you as a nerd.
Okay.
I think of you as an intelligent man.
Oh, thank you.
But I wouldn't call you nerdy.
Okay.
Because you
I'm cool.
like comedy and
a
laugh and a joke. And that's not going to hurt anybody.
Wait, do nerds hurt people? I thought nerds were good guys.
Nerds get picked on.
Yeah, I got picked on. I was a loser, though.
Were you a nerdy at school, though?
Yeah, a little bit. Were
you very bright and intelligent?
I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was always up in the top of the class.
Yeah. And that's what interests me about you. And a lot of people I meet on New Zealand today, I'm like, this person is so similar to me. Like we would have been friends in high school, but we've just, for whatever reason, had completely different paths. Like you were just saying at the end of the last podcast, you ran away when you were 14. I was the opposite. I didn't do anything risky. I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't do any drugs. I was like completely straight and narrow. And it's kind of just interesting how our lives and probably the opportunities afforded to us as well. You left school when you're 14. I was lucky to go to university. Like we're like kind of the same but different.
My English teacher, he tried to say to me I should get into broadcasting.
Yeah.
And I thought, what? What is there? TV1 and a fucking radio. What broadcasting is there to get into?
Yeah.
But I wish I'd listened to him.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd taken a different path. But I'm not regretting the path that I took and the mistakes that I've made along the way.
Yeah.
As long as I haven't hurt other people.
Yeah.
As long as it's only myself that I've damaged.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was full on, but yeah, that's absolutely right. And the opportunities wouldn't have been really there in the Hutt Valley. Although I said that was literally where the New Zealand Broadcasting Centre was.
I didn't see it.
But yeah,
what
it wasn't.
My English teacher could see.
Yeah, you've got real potential there. It was the same with not comparing you to this guy, but I had a similar experience where I went and interviewed a mongrel mob member, and he'd been just kind of fresh out of jail kind of thing, and had a hell of a life. Not defending some of that, he was in jail for cutting another gang member's finger off with a machete. But when I met this guy, I was immediately like, he's so similar to me. He's probably smarter than me, and not a high bar. But just like I've had every opportunity in life, and he's had probably, I don't actually know what his upbringing was, but I'm guessing probably less. And that's just an interesting thing about New Zealand. It's like we like to think it's this like utopia level playing field. We're not always.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
even the system's not good. That the housing system, like social housing that I'm in, I pay $158 a week, and the guy next door pays $54, because he's come in where the government's changed it. They can only take a quarter of your income, and I'm on a capped income because this was council, but Otatahi Housing Trust have taken it over.
Can I raise an interesting point there? Just it says Otatahi Trust. It does the housing now. It used to be called Housing New Zealand. Is that what it was?
No, this was the council.
It's different. Otahi.
So it was council.
Otatahi is Christchurch. Sorry.
And council was always dearer than Housing New Zealand.
But just my point was going to be, it's just really interesting because to be progressive and to reintegrate the Māori language, saying that was beaten out of New Zealand, they've changed the name of a lot of government organisations to their own names, which is a lovely idea and really good in principle. But I'm not an expert on this, but I was just going to say that I feel like is kind of backfiring. For example, they changed child, youth and family.
Yeah.
They changed to Oranga Tamariki. I don't know if I'm quite saying that first word right.
You are.
But I love this podcast where we're learning reo, and it's like I'm trying to say it right.
I'm really bad at Māori. I can't pronounce
obviously,
it
that's
properly.
that's why it's comedy that I'm having a crack, and then my person who's telling me if I'm doing right or not is you. That's quite funny. That's quite funny. Like we'll go to our Māori language expert, Karen. Karen, is that right?
No, I just
Tamaru, is that right?
Only I know it's right from what I've heard them say.
Vaguely.
I mean, yesterday, Jacinda, I was going, wow, what is she wearing? And then she gives this big, long introduction in Māori, and I didn't know one word she was saying, and I wondered if
because you don't speak Māori.
I wondered if she was ever going to stop and start in English.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what she was wearing. It was like she had a Muslim look.
Okay. Karen.
Did you see it last night?
We're on what's known in the industry here as thin ice. Now, for a start,
crack.
This is something called Mensplaining with Guy. One of the problems that female politicians and newsreaders and anyone in the media faces, much like yourself, is that they get judged instantly on what they wear, whereas men don't at all. So men can look like absolute garbage, and people really care.
It's Te Reo Māori language.
Just stay off that issue. Stay on this issue for a second. So, like, when you see newsreaders, right, and it'll be Jeremy Wells and Hilary Barry, and Hilary will get, constant comments, emails, phone calls to the news station about what she's wearing, but no one ever comments about Jeremy and stuff like that.
I do.
You comment on Jeremy?
Yeah, I comment on men when they're wearing something funny.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Like,
but just my point is,
Di Henwood. I go, why does he wear his trousers up there?
Yeah,
it is absolutely ridiculous.
It's fine. Who cares?
It looks stupid. And I mean, he's already stupid.
Give Di a break. So everyone say to
Di a break. I'm just saying.
No, don't give him a break. Fuck him.
I don't
Di, stop rolling up your pants.
He doesn't roll them up. They're bloody there.
It's fine. It's
bloody
fashion.
Stupid. It looks ridiculous.
Okay, Karen, we're going to talk about what you're wearing now. And if you see people at home and they're judging you, well, let's start on me. I look ridiculous. I'm wearing a goddamn checkered suit.
Slippers.
You're wearing Ugg boots.
Slippers that I wore all round New Zealand on New Zealand Today live shows.
Yeah.
And lovely warm socks.
You've got like Big Bird tights with like webbed knees for extra pleasure.
Big Bird tights. I'll give you Big Bird. Thank God they're black.
You're rocking a New Zealand Today t-shirt.
And the New Zealand Today live t-shirt. Unbelievable.
You're wearing a camo.
And my favourite cardigan that my best friend gave me.
Yeah.
Because I love cardigans. So easy
Why
to
is it
take
camo
off
though?
and on.
Are you going to be serving time in Iraq sometime soon or something? Like, what's going on there? Why does it need to be camo?
What do you mean camo?
When do you? It's like camo print, like the military wears, like to blend in.
No, this was given to me.
I'm not questioning where it came from. I'm just saying, why is it camo?
I don't know.
So, are you going to hide in the
comfortable.
bushes? Like, what war are you going to?
I'm going to war with you in a minute.
The war on political correctness, which has gone mad. Why are the women wearing the clothes? I'm just saying we should try with
I
like
dress for
women in media.
comfort.
We should try with women in media and women in any job to not comment on their looks and comment on the content of their character. I was like Martin Luther King there for a second there. That was bloody good.
Martin Luther King.
But do you get what I mean, Karen? Like, no one wants to be judged on their looks, and women get it all the time, and men don't get it as much.
Who was I? Cassius Clay?
Cassius Clay.
Do you know who Cassius Clay is?
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. What's your point? Okay.
Well, he was around about the same time as Martin Luther King, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he went to jail because he wouldn't go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then when he came out and became Muhammad Ali, he turned
No,
Muslim
we can't
in
tangent
jail.
like that right now. It's still Mansplaining with Guy. This is a good segment. This is a new
Okay,
segment of the show,
right.
Mansplaining with Guy. The next thing is you decide to describe her dress as like Muslim-like or some crap.
Well, I just didn't
That
understand.
was barbed. What's wrong with that?
Because I thought if it's Te Reo Māori Language Week and she's going to talk it, then why wasn't she wearing it? Why did she look like she's dressed as an Indian or...
Because she can dress however she wants.
It
She
was
wasn't
red-
dressing for Māori language. She's just dressing in a dress.
Well, it was ridiculous. Whatever she was wearing, it was bloody hideous.
You was, okay, you're wearing a camo sweater.
Because I'm at home and it's comfortable.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Love my pockets.
Okay.
Carry my pot in.
Yeah. Okay.
Not even.
I'm just saying, let's try not to judge women by their looks. It's hard. It's hard because we've been like so deeply entrenched. So I can't get it out of my head as well. And I judge everyone by their looks, but it's important, I think, to.
Have you ever noticed that I don't...
Jacinda Ardern is the
that I
prime,
don't...
regardless of what you think of her politics, she's the prime minister,
Yeah.
and she should be judged on what she's saying.
I wasn't judging her politics.
But that's the problem of this. Ah! Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm sorry. You made me go crazy.
Let's see fit.
Okay, the next thing. It's multi-language week, right? In New Zealand, kids were beaten for speaking reo, right? Their own native tongue.
I know.
It was beaten out of them.
I know, people
So
who
now we're
were,
trying to bring
yeah.
it back, and we're bringing it back fantastically, and there's so many assholes who are pushing against it. And Jacinda talking reo at the start of a big press conference is good for New Zealand because it shows everyone it can be done, and it's effortless.
Well, my best friend here is a Māori.
Good. Stop saying that because it makes you seem real guilty.
No.
By constantly going,
No.
my best friend, some of my best friends are though, so I can't be racist. You can be racist, you can have as many friends.
We
You
call
can be,
each other sis. I never saw colour.
yeah. I mean, that's always.
I'm not a racist.
No. No.
I'm just saying I'm not, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Hey.
Because I never see colour is that's like kind of
But
what
I
racist people
used to
say.
hear my dad-
Everyone sees colour, like you can't avoid seeing colour. You're not some celestial.
I used to hear my dad say racist things,
Yeah.
right? And not just colour, religion, everything, because we had a Catholic school across the road. And I go, why can't I go to that school? Why do I have to walk
And he
half a mile to school?
because the priests are having sex with the children there.
No, he didn't. He was. My dad
Possibly
was,
true, though.
Was racist,
Child sexual abuse
though.
in New Zealand is
Yes, I
bad.
know, but I'm a 6-year-old girl wanting to know why I can't go to that school.
Yeah.
When it's across the road.
Yeah.
My father was racist, and he used to go on about colour and religion and all that. And when he was gone out of earshot, my mother used to come behind it. Now, you don't listen to any of that crap your father told you. Blah, blah, blah. And this is where I go. And everybody's has the right to grow up and make their own mind up about it. Not what I say, not what your father says, not what anybody else says, what you think.
Wow.
And so thank God for my mother who used to come along behind and give us our own minds.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to your ma.
I love my mother for that very,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah,
she undone the seed that my dad would plant, which could have turned me into a totally different person.
Yeah. Okay, question time with Guy and Karen. Let's take this baby home. Life advice. We've got great life advice for smart people. We'd solve any problem, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
What's the problem?
Hi, Karen. I'm just about to finish college, high school. What's the best career for me to choose?
Well, it's very hard to answer when you don't really know the person.
I mean, the last question you got was...
Media or IT,
Okay.
because that's where the money is.
I don't know if that is where the money is.
But there's you got to go where there's work. Where's there going to be work in the future?
I'm in media. It fucking sucks.
Media.
Look at me. I'm wearing a plaid suit.
I mean, we need we will, if we don't get apprentices, we're going to need carpenters, drain layers, plumbers, tilers.
This is good. I like this. Yeah. It's really helpful. Like having a skill is important, whether you be a
very
lawyer
much
or
tradespeople,
a plumber.
Because they sort of like the national government sort of forgot about tradespeople, and so there isn't any. They're going to be running out. Whereas Labor's gone right now, we've got to, and they've got to give incentive to the people who are the tradesmen to take on the apprentices.
Yeah.
And yes, they really need to get into that because...
I think that's good advice.
Not only running out of carpenters, they're running out of bloody supplies, aren't they?
People often ask me about comedy, and I don't know if it's a good option or not, or whatever media entertainment. It's easy and hard. Like, it seems like an easy job, but I think any job you got to work hard.
I think a standalone comedian,
stand-up comedian,
yeah, and on their own, that is real hard work.
Yeah, it depends. Really, it depends if you can get an audience or not. I was lucky that pretty much as soon as I graduated uni, I got on the Jono Project show.
Yeah.
So straight away I could like get a crowd, and that is that's really helpful. Guy, what are Josh and Isaac up to now? That's a good question. We just did a tour with them, right, Karen? You had a good time?
Yeah, I did.
Josh is a lifeguard, which is quite funny. I like the idea of Josh. Oh no, he's actually quit being a lifeguard. He was a lifeguard, which is funny.
Yes, he was.
Because I can't imagine Josh saving anyone's life.
No.
Karen can't believe it either. And Isaac, this is a bombshell. We have to get them on the podcast sometime. Isaac is starting a rap label.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. This is just real life. Josh and Isaac from Martin, they're two guys I interviewed. If you haven't seen that video, it's one of the high points of New Zealand Today history. Not saying much, but Josh and Isaac, absolute legends. Shout out to the boys.
And there was another one. He went and had no story.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no story. That's behind the scenes.
And you got...
Yeah, I went to a place called Fielding where there was a house that hadn't sold for 20 years.
Yeah.
This is how New Zealand Today kind of started. I was failing.
Yeah.
There was no story there. I went to knock on the door and the guy didn't want to talk. He kind of slammed the door in my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what am I going to do now? I got no story. And I wandered around town just to interview people. And I ran into Josh and Isaac and they saved my life.
Yeah.
Because
Isaac called out to you.
Yeah, Isaac was out the car window and he was like, "Hey, Guy Williams!" And when I saw his like red hair like blazing in the Honda Civic or whatever they were in, I was like, these guys are gonna have some gold. And boy, oh boy, they took me to Martin, best chicken chips in the world, best heritage buildings in the world,
best chicken chips in New Zealand,
best chicken chips in New Zealand as well as the world. All right, this is almost the end of another podcast. Karen, you reckon it's been a winner?
Yes.
I thought before we go and do another inspirational quote, we should do ads. No one wants to sponsor this podcast. We're not very successful yet, but we will be. I was like, so what we should do is we should just like get people into the vibe of like learning about the, like the skills that we have as like product promoters and product placementers by like promoting a product. Like what's a product that you like?
Loser plates. I did them. They sent me that.
Okay. So it's a plate that says 20 fucking wax.
Yeah, but you can get any sort of plates.
Okay, let's do an ad for them. What are they called?
Loser plates.
G'day, I'm Guy Williams.
And I'm Karen Hill.
And we're here to promote Loser Plates.
Loser plates.
Loser plates. Are you eating your food off the table and wondering why it takes so long to clean up? Loser plates.
Loser plates.
Loser plates. Do you have a plate that you want to write a swear word on? Like fuck or shit?
No, you can write anything. They do it for you.
C word, get it on there.
Yeah.
Racial slurs? No.
No, they do anything.
No, they're not. No, they're not doing racial slurs. Loser plates.
Loser plates.
Loser plates. Loser plates are one of the most superb non-racist organisations. Well, actually, can't say that for sure. But I assume, hopefully, not right, because if they are racist, we're doing all the wrong things, aren't we? They're great plates. Don't walk away during the ad, Karen. Loser plates.
Loser plates.
Loser plates.
Loser plate. They'll give you a new one. Loser plates.
No, just to be fair, that's not part of their deal, right? If you lose the plate you buy from them, they don't give you a new one.
No. Loserplates@gmail.com at loserplates.
Loser plates.
Loser plates.
Loser plates.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening to Karen and myself, please support the show by telling your friends and spreading the good word on social media. And subscribe to the New Zealand Today podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever good podcasts are found. Also, where bad podcasts are found. The New Zealand Today podcast is a production of Freddie Boy Podcasts. That's a real thing, not just something we made up 5 minutes ago. It was edited by Luke, the Phantom Menace, Earl, and was made with the help of the legends at New Zealand On Air. It's like a Dane Rumble video.